EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos.
Ready. 54. 54 Mike. Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. Opening quarter, his opening carry of the game, and I think they'll give it to him a few more times, as they should.
You're exactly right about that, but that type of a run, you want to repeat it many times until they show signs of stopping it. I think he did his vision.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42, and they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense, and the first drive they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them in a sense and gotten the ball from them. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stain.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
On 2nd down, Braxton. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Right there. 54, right there. 54 Mike.
Now back to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield into a double team, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. He's continuing to be a big presence defensively. Remember last week, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and a big pick right there.
And when you pile up big numbers, it gets everyone's attention. But sometimes the number just needs to be, how many game-changing plays did you make? Did you take the ball away from the other team? He just did that, trying to win the award again this week.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Check, 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 check.
On first down, Braxton. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Let's go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience is early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. And he gets it away, and it's a laser headed for the sidelines. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've shown very little offensively to this point. Well, neither team has, really. And they come up here now, 1st down. He'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Flushed out right. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked off at the 40, and he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On play action, they'll throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
2nd and 10. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off.
That's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. and good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that they're...
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Going for the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 30. A huge play there for Denver. 55 yards. Well, last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a give, right side. Braxton. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
It's now 3rd down and 4.
Set, hut, to Pittsburgh. 54, Mike, 54. Hey, watch the slant.
On 3rd down, Braxton. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It's a pickup of 3, but it brings up what will be an interesting 4th and 1.
4th down and 1.
And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
They'll try and run for it. And he'll have the 1st down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. 2nd quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now again, right side. Braxton. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Here we go. Go to base.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the 1st on 3rd. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this 1st half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
So I guess we'll call this a pitcher's duel so far. I think that was a 3-run homer there, and it makes it a 3-2 ball game.
Yeah, and what inning are we in? It's not the most common of score lines, but it's pretty indicative of the fact that we're in for a tight one.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. get this one across the 35. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Right back to him on 1st down. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
The tackle made just shy of midfield. It's a gain of 6. First down.
And to give this time to the tailback. And now past another. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. First carry for James Conner. And some room to work. That one 28 yards on the ground.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a 1st down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. 3rd down here. They'll set up to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or 2 shy of midfield.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll run on 1st down. Braxton. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Broncos on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos 1st down.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Looking to throw. And this is caught at the 8. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That's good for 28 yards.
1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Right, we get slap happy up here sometimes. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Check right 54. Right 54. Here we go.
They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And 2 field goals now mean they take a rare 6-2 lead. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
A gain of 3, second down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down.
And it's third down.
Let's go. Hey, hold on. Check 56.
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Here we go.
36-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Less than 30 seconds to go in the half. Pretty good starting field position, all things considered. You'd think they definitely have time to get to field goal range. There he goes, right side. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there as the first half is winding down. And the Broncos able to show off their quick strike ability. McManus's point after is good, and that pushes the lead up to 11. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Oh, boy, I know you felt that one.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And as we see so frequently here in Colorado, that one over the end line, so it'll come out to the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And finally taken down at the 35-yard line. That one 28 yards on the ground. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 20-yard line. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I think in normal situations, most play callers would probably shelve that play in this situation. But down in the red zone, got a little something extra to play with. I like the way that he took a shot and went after it.
Here's 2nd and 8. And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. That one covers 29 yards, first down. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
Check. Lucky.
They'll keep it on the ground. Braxton. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. This is 3rd and 1, very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
But they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 18. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force an incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. On 3rd and long, it's Locke. And it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown.
Makes the score, Broncos 16.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And this will be a pickup of 4 here, up to their own 20.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
The tackle made back at the 13-yard line.
Welcome back now to Denver. It's Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th. Broncos on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13.
Right there. 54 Mike.
Focus, defense, focus. Hey, 1 set. Check Mike, 54.
From the gun on third down, Locke. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
That's what I'm talking about. Sacks.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Take it at the 37. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And this offense set up nicely with what looks to be a 1st and goal right around the 10-yard line. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. As they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. A very important extra point there, up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Going to give this time to the tailback. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Braxton. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
54 Mike. Hey, me and you all day.
2nd and 13. He's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Broncos on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 9. Throwing his lock on 3rd down. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 17-yard line.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
They'll drop the throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. Braxton. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
It's 3rd and 11.
Here we go. Here we go. That's what I do.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This for the lead in the final stages. Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And they're looking at 4th down now in this tie ball game. The kick by McManus is good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
What we got?
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's got his man on the out route.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for him. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Now he dumps this off over the middle and to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards there and a 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Back to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Now they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to. Back
to throw. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Watch the out. Watch the out.
On first down, Braxton. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the fourth. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Now back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Watch twist. Watch safety creep. Watch safety go.
To throw is locked. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. And he'll get credit for a punt inside the 20, not by much, but inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of...
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way. And there it is, the standard symbol. Taking a knee means that one team won and the other one obviously lost the ball game. But now that team that won is 2-2. After the first 4 games, I think they're okay with a 2-2 start. Not overly happy, but at the same time, not depressed either.
You mentioned to me breaking down a season in quadrants. So the first quadrant is kind of a check, as you said, for okay. Not great, not bad.
Yeah, right now they're just holding serve. They look forward to their next 4. Maybe they can make a surge there.